It is Compass FM and the Mega Music Breakfast. We're having a chat with Robyn Bristow, Managing Editor, North Canterbury News. And Robyn, you've got issue number 934 out on the stands and being delivered today. Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. A bit cooler this morning.
Thank goodness for that. I think a lot of people are going, thank goodness. Certainly those in Hanmer Springs at the moment.
Yeah. 5 days in the 30s.
Yeah, no, it was six. There was six in
the end, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, just
Gosh.
ridiculous, really.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Hey, if you're into hot weather, it's okay, but we're not. I'm not.
I was brought up in Central Otago.
Oh, there you go. Well, then you're used to it. I was brought up in Invercargill. We're lucky to hit 30-degree. Moving on the front page of the paper, there's a big headline, Angst over Big Water Shake-Up. You wrote this story, massive changes in the management of water delivery. So what do you think?
Look, it's very difficult to sort of get a handle on what actually is going to be announced, but it would appear to me that, it will be water is to be taken from local government and managed by a regulatory authority sitting over the top of perhaps 5 or 6 regional authorities who will ensure that we drink safe water. So these people, from the days of having people elected to make decisions about how we get water delivered and wastewater disposed of, etc., it'll be managed by people, that are appointed to these particular authorities, and we won't have any say. We will just have to do it. And Hurunui is concerned that the rural voice may get lost in all of this because of this. They're just tiny, really. It will be the big voice that will sort of dominate what happens water-wise.
Yes, on the whiteboard, pointing with circles and arrows and an explanation saying that this is what you're going to do. Murray Black and Hamish Dobby, they're a wee bit concerned.
Absolutely.
They want everyone to be aware so that everyone can make informed decisions. And part of that awareness is being aware who you can actually send a submission to.
Yes. And I think actually submissions have now closed as well. It's all just disappeared under people aren't aware of what's going on, and that is a worry, and they want people to be aware.
Now,
this
might be not so much an editorial comment, but certainly a question that I'm going to ask you, Robyn. Do you think that people aren't concerned enough to be aware? What's your feeling on that?
I don't think people realise the impact, and I am in no doubt that it's going to impact their pocket. I think water will become more expensive, quite simply because it probably will have to be treated, and it seems that even perhaps if you were a farmer with a cottage on your farm, you become a water supplier and you are caught by the regulations. So it's going to be massive and a huge change. And what's it going to do to local government, because that's a huge unit of their particular entity as well. We don't know, but people need to be concerned, need to be aware and keep an eye on what happens in March when this announcement's made about the future.
Absolutely. We don't want local governments to go the same way as Kodak did. Anyway, moving on. Now, Tuesday, there was a bit of a meeting, just a small meeting, 1 or 2 concerned residents, or was it an absolute rip snorter? I never actually made it to the meeting.
There was about 100 people there that are concerned about this quarry, and you can't help but feel for them, because that's another huge thing as well. And they're now concerned that it may fall within the protection zones for water, which the council uses for emergency supplies, the bores and wells, when water is short. And there was a lot of other things raised at that meeting, and it's just going to boil away now until the hearing date is set. We're not sure quite when that's going to be, but it was set for March sometime, but I don't know where that's got to. But it was a huge meeting. It went for 2.5 hours, and the ECAN and Waimakariri District Council representatives were there for the first part of the meeting and explained the process and how their hands are tied. They can't say, no, we're not going to process this resource 10 application. They have to under the law. And so they explained the process. Then they left meeting, and a lot of things were discussed, along with whether or not the race people can actually legally accept.
Okay, well then obviously you'll be keeping a very close eye on that one.
Absolutely, and all the new bits that come up as they go along. But this group will continue to protest.
Yep.
To make people, they're doing a really good job making people aware that this is not just, a West Rangiora problem, probably going to be a huge problem for a lot of people in Rangiora and beyond, with if there's dust, noise, and all of the, perhaps the water. Yeah, it's quite concerning.
Dust and noise, that sounds like my lounge when I'm vacuuming, Robyn. But hey, that's slightly flippant, and I shouldn't have mentioned that one there. Hey, very, very quickly, because we're running out of time, a dark sky project. We've touched down in the Hiranui, we've touched in the Waimakariri. Why not? Let's have a look at Kaikoura. A dark sky project in Kaikoura.
Absolutely. A working group is looking at creating a dark sky reserve in Kaikoura, which means that they have to sort of lobby local government and developers and people like that for when they're doing subdivisions, so that the lighting doesn't disturb the night sky. There's all sorts of ways of doing that, having downturn lights, etc. And they're partway there. They've made a provisional application to there is a dark sky authority, an international one, and they've made an application to go there. And there's a few in New Zealand, particularly I think the one we know most is down Tekapo in the Mackenzie country. And they actually have a business, I think. So there's ecotourism opportunities there as well to go out and observe the night sky. There's hammocks somewhere out of Tekapo that you can lie there and stare at the stars. So it's a great project, and that's been led by Nicky MacArthur in Kaikoura. That's taken over from Nectar, who were the people that did all that, the road.
Right. Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Robyn, Bristow, do appreciate you taking the time every Thursday morning having a chat about what's in the newspaper. Have a really, really good day, and we'll do it again next Thursday. What do you reckon?
Good, thank you.
Wonderful. North Canterbury News, fresh today, another edition.
Compass FM.